Who abandoned their core audience and paid the price for it? Little website called Dig did a major site refresh to increase site revenue without considering the impact and lost their entire user base to Reddit essentially overnight. I just learned from a TikTok that Applebee's tried to become a club at night to attract younger customers, but no one wanted to go hang out at Applebee's, and all the old people who used to go Applebee's didn't like that it turned into a club at night, so they stopped going, and now no one likes Applebee's. JCPenney changed their stores about 12 years ago to go after a cooler audience. Turns out the cool kids didn't want to shop there, and loyal JCP shoppers didn't want to anymore either. They've been trying to undo this for years but still struggling. Discovery, History TV 18 and National Geographic. Once Discover's Man vs Wild got really famous and got them a lot of TRP, they thought this was it. Every one of these channels came out with their own version of MVSW, some really stupid. A History channel playing this bullshit is of course going to drive the geeks away. Producers would run these shows multiple times in a day as if they had nothing to show other than this, no science and engineering to explain. It was painful to not get to see my favorite science shows on these channels anymore. The Raiders used to have a great home field advantage in Oakland. Now every game in Vegas is half filled with away fans. Tumblr, Unity Software, MTV. Loved watching music videos and the occasional news, behind the music, etc., but their main focus was music videos. Then, for some insane reason, they ditched their tried and true format and became a reality show nightmare. They lost it all. I don't even know if MTV is still around. Blizzard Entertainment. This YouTuber called Ray William Johnson. Guy was one of the top YouTubers with a huge following, and then abandoned most of his shows to chase bigger roles in showbiz. Cartoon Network. I will never turn down a chance to talk shit about the reboot of Dexter. Olive Garden was simple menu that was solid for casual night or easy lunch, got sad that pop culture made fun of it as Fox Fancy, and actually tried to get Fox Fancy, should have never got rid of the artery-clogging chicken con broccoli LMAO. Rob Thomas, not the singer, with Veronica Mars. He had fans crowdfund the movie and then obliterated the first season of the series reboot. It was a slap in the face to all the loyal marshmallows. He thought he knew better and in the end, thought his vision would be restored, but fans aren't so forgiving. This fan isn't, that's for sure. The Witcher series, or any beloved franchise where directors and writers think they can do better than the source material. Note to writers and directors out there, if you're adapting something to the big screen that people absolutely love, understand that in their eyes you absolutely cannot do better than the source material. Don't have to go 1:1 with the source material, but man, it's so crazy that people will rubber stamp the deviation from the original IP so often. If it has a huge following, stick to the fucking source and you'll be able to milk a cash cow for years. Deviating is such a huge risk, and I can't think of any series or movie that has done this and pulled it off/survived, so it's just weird that directors and writers continue to think they are gonna be the one to pull it off. Game of Thrones. They shit the bed so hard in the last season that no one thinks of it fondly. You hear of people rewatching epic shows over and over again. I don't know a single person who has gone back to God. I tried to watch the first season again, but I was still too mad and hurt about the ending. Ja Rule. You can argue that he originally abandoned his hardcore style from VVV, but with his mainstream success between Rule 336 and Pain is Love, he felt the heat with 50 Cent and G-Unit blowing up and switched up from his radio-friendly sound and flopped with Blood in My Eye. Former author, current Twitch streamer and habitual liar and grifter, Patrick Rothfuss. Most MMOs. I get it, hardcore raiders are vocal, but 95% of your subscribers are filthy casuals who likely won't jump ship 2 weeks after patch and not return until next patch. OnlyFans briefly banning, https://www.cnbc.com/2021/08/25/OnlyFans -it-will-no-longer-ban-after-from-users.html, sexually explicit material on their service. That's, like, your entire business model. Volition rebooting Saints Row fits the bill. They removed tons of elements from the earlier games that fans loved, and allowed the change to become a core aspect of the game's pre-launch promotion. The result was a game that reviewed and sold poorly, and Volition closing its doors a year after release. The company Tokyopop. From what I recall, they had pretty good taste in licensing comics to translate from 1998 through 2003. They got the rights to high-profile series including Ray Arth, Love Hina, Fruits Basket, and Great Teacher Onizuka. Their paperback books cost $5 US less than what Viz Media, Dark Horse Comics, and Central Park Media were charging at the time. The company didn't always handle their licenses well, inconsistent names in Sailor Moon, including the violent Ice Blade in the otherwise mild Mix Zine magazine, but I thought there were more hits than misses. Where did Tokyopop go wrong? Well, I remember seeing film comics with their brand filling the shelves of Borders bookstores. I'm sure Meet the Robinsons is a decent movie, but why turn it into a comic? Who was calling for an adaptation of Drake and Josh? I did an image search for Tokyopop Cinemanga a moment ago, and I'm stunned by how many film comics were released. The company got a bunch of B-tier licenses. There's some I like even though they've been half forgotten. SGT Frog has good aspects, and Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad is respectable. I heard once that BTX barely sold, even though it's a nice action series. But did anyone care about the MMO theme series ID_EANTITY? Did anyone buy the Wild West series etc.? Around the time Borders stores were closing, someone at Tokyopop took a risk, and made a live-action adaptation of the Korean comic Priest. It didn't find an audience. Also baseball, give us money, but no sorry you cannot watch this game based 9 and the market you live in. Achievement Hunter. It wasn't just that the audience grew out of them. They took purposefully steps into alienating those who were there from the start, for newer audiences with different likings, following the mysterious algorithm. They forced a big portion of their audience to grow out of them. I can understand themselves getting tired of the content they made for 15 years or so. But going from 0 to 100 is not changing courses. It's just doing a completely different thing. Something that people who were there from the start never asked for. And while I do wish them well on this new endeavor, I really hope they understand a big portion of their previous fan base will not follow just because we are the same group. Burning Man used to be an epic realization of counterculture and free spirit living, became a drug-fueled circle jerk of influencers and Silicon Valley rich kids. It's still cool, but the magic seems to be gone. Tumblr. Allbirds. Like they were a hyper-environmental comfortable shoe. Then they made a million different kinds and types and just became a shoe company. And I haven't seen anyone wear them for years. Radio Shack. Creative Assembly. They're the makers of the Total War franchise. They were developing a title called Hyenas, which was a zoomer looter shooter extraction game. They invested like $100 million into it, only for Sega to cancel it. To make up costs, they jacked up the price of the WH3 DLC to $25, and are releasing a smaller Total War for the price of a full game. They cashed in their community goodwill so that they could develop a game that was DOA. The TV show How I Met Your Mother. Like other shows here that have been mentioned, it just absolutely dropped the ball in its last season, but where it has one up, or down, rather, on them is the episodic nature of the show. Hymen is largely episodic, so, You can pick pretty much any given episode to watch in any order and be entertained, whereas more serialized shows like Game of Thrones or Dexter aren't like that. And yet, I've talked to many people who were fans of the show who just completely lost their interest in rewatching it after the immense fumble of the last season, and in particular the last episode where we finally get the revelation the show had been building toward for years. I'm surprised to not see BlackBerry here. They had cornered the high-paying business users of mobile phones. They wanted to become mass market though and came up with ads like "We are the BlackBerry Boys." Got kicked out of both the categories. I feel like maybe that's happening to Bill Maher? Maybe too early to tell. Bud Light. Not because of the trans stuff, but because before that the marketing team was shown on video saying their brand was fratty and had too much out-of-touch humor. So they openly didn't like their core customer and then start delving into the political thicket. Then they go viral on social media and the videos circulate showing a marketing exec talking with disdain for the brand that was the most popular beer in the United States. They clearly had something right for a long time. Inclusivity would have been fine. We want everyone to drink our beer, but don't talk down to your constituents and customers. McDonald's. Their shit got expensive. People who liked McDonald's were the dollar menu crowd. Dying Light 2. After Techland sold out to Tencent and added microtransactions, the game's been getting review bombed left and right, and now they are trying everything to retain their base to little avail. Guns are finally being added in the next update, something they have been adamantly against since release. I don't know if it will be enough, I doubt it, but we will see. Lots of fans are pretty pissed off with them right now. Quebelco. Boeing. Built by engineers, corrupted by Wall Street. Moved their HQ away from Seattle's to Chicago just to get away from listening to engineers, now to Virginia just by DC to continue their hyper-focus on Washington lobbying. Try licking balls of short-term investors and politicians instead of focusing on innovation and safety. Killed hundreds of people in 2 crashes and lost advantage in all industries, civil aviation, aerospace, and defense. Unity. The new Saints Row reboot did just this, and it cost Volition their entire company. Rooster Teeth.